Hey guys, welcome back to this place, and if you are new, then welcome here for the very first time. I'm Carmen, and today we are going to be watching Season 2, Episode 9 of The Expanse. And if you are a member of my very newly made Patreon, and you're watching this on, I think, the 19th of August, then you can go and watch the next episode right now if you have early access without having to wait a whole nother week. So yeah, just, if you want to, something to keep in mind. But I am really excited about this episode after the last episode and the whole season, really. I cannot wait to see what happens next. So let's just get into it.
It's a routine stop, nothing more.
Then why are they jamming our girl?
Yeah, what's going on?
Manifest and IDs, please.
Look.
Here.
I'm gonna have to search the rest of the ship.
What are they looking for?
That's everything. You satisfied?
There's no one else on board. I assure you.
We're gonna have to impound your ship.
That's outrageous.
Calm down.
No! Enough is enough! We have to get out of this
please.
room! Get the hell out of
Melissa,
shit!
no.
Ah!
Melissa, are you alright? I know you. I've seen your face all over Sirius Station. You're James Holden.
Yeah.
Well, this is off to a good start.
What are they doing? I was like, these assholes, and it's them.
Now you're mispronouncing that. He's Portuguese, the J's somewhat.
So it's Colonel E?
I wanted to believe in magic.
Well, that's normal for a child, right?
That's because children are stupid. When I
Okay.
grew up and I learned the real explanation for the stars, it became even more amazing. You're going to twist the facts to support your position. That's not just bad science. It's dangerous.
Colonel,
But you
we
also
just picked up an MCR and ship in Venus orbit. I don't know why we didn't see this before.
Must be a stealth.
Why are you doing this?
Because we need a ship to get us on the Ganymede station, and ours is too conspicuous.
The people there are suffering, These supplies could save lives.
And they'll get where they're needed. I promise.
I don't believe you. Well.
My name is Praxidiki Meng. You don't know me, but I was a colleague. I was a friend of your cousin Doris. We worked together on Ganymede. She was on her way back to Mars to be with you, but she was badly injured in transit. And she died. She probably wouldn't have even been on the ship with me if she hadn't helped me.
he's lying.
So I want to say I'm sorry. No, I need to send a message.
You can't.
It's important.
That doesn't make a difference.
Why can't I?
Because I can't.
Cap said.
I hope the strain of Earth's gravity hasn't been too much for you to bear.
Not at all. I was a Marine for 45 years. We trained extensively in 1G. It's like riding a bike.
With tires made of lead. It's nice to be having an actual conversation instead of trading recordings for once.
It would have been even nicer if you had met us halfway.
Perhaps we should begin with a moment of silence for the lives lost on Ganymede.
It's important to remember the terrible cost of battle.
In victory or defeat,
That's a good thing to keep in mind.
you should spread it to your fleet.
Maybe you could tell them when our ships get to Jupiter. It won't take long.
We're looking forward to it.
The reason we're here is
Such
to
hostility.
prevent a war. Let's start by remembering the fallen.
So the issue at hand is de-escalation. Let's get right to it.
There wasn't really a moment of silence.
Still on Ganymede, we find him. I believe we'll find your daughter.
You can stop pretending to care about my daughter. What does she have to do with this proto-molecule you're after?
How do you know about that?
I told him. He's helping us. We should be straight with him.
Proto-molecule, is that what really moved Eros?
We're all there, my friend. Saw it with our own eyes.
Yep.
What could that have to do with May?
We don't know yet.
That's my question, too.
We'll leave the Somnambulist once we dock, and then we'll intermingle with the locals.
And then?
And then we'll assess the situation and take it from
plans always this vague?
This is about average. This is Marine Gunnery Sergeant Roberta Draper. She will be giving you her account of the battle.
My fire team was assigned to patrol the MCRN zone Bravo on Ganymede Station. Shortly after the Scirocco, our support ship went into comms blackout. We observed movements on the UNN line approximately 2 kilometers distance. The UN Marines appeared to be charging our position.
Are you saying that we opened fire on you?
No, sir. We were out of contact with our ship and unable to
Why
confirm.
don't you
and at
let
the
her
time,
finish talking?
Our comms were jammed on the field. They were closing in on us fast. We mistook a training exercise as an active engagement and opened fire without orders.
She's lying for them.
According to our investigation, it was Private Richard Travis that fired the first shot.
Christian knows that's not the full story.
How would you like us to proceed?
Squeeze the arrogant dusters for everything you can get, of course.
With pleasure, sir.
Yeah, boys. Lasagna.
Oh, the lasagna again.
I really put my foot in this batch, partner. I think you're gonna like it. And be careful down there, Arthur.
Careful up here, Martian.
You're gonna get us all killed.
Let's hope not, because I want them to all live.
All right, then. So we're done.
One last thing. I'd like to speak to Sergeant Draper again. I have a few questions.
Madam, this has been an exhausting session.
I find it hard to believe that a Martian Marine would be fatigued from sitting in a chair. We all came here in the hopes that we could begin to trust each other. I want to speak with Sergeant Draper.
Yes!
Now.
Woo! Yes! Let her.
Sergeant Draper.
Oh, in front of everybody. I thought she meant by
My
herself.
family has a long tradition of military service. I'm sure yours does too. An entire nation dedicated to a common goal. To turn a lifeless rock into a garden. A dear friend told me that. He wanted to retire to Mars, but he died. Did you know that the majority of people on Earth don't have jobs? In this building, it's easy to forget.
With all due respect, madam, where are you going with this?
Wherever I goddamn like. Travis's parents.
It's true.
They believed in your dream. I'm sure Travis believed in that dream as well.
He did.
Were other Martians prejudiced against him?
Yes.
Was he a good soldier?
One of my best.
Do you really believe that after all that sacrifice and all his training, that Travis would jeopardize the lives of his fellow soldiers by foolishly jumping the gun?
No.
No? Then why would he open fire without orders? Did he panic?
I don't know. He...
Then why did he fire? What was the reason?
We thought we were under attack.
Under attack? So you were fired upon?
No, he was trying to kill the enemy. I didn't even know what it was. Nobody did. He wasn't wearing a vac suit.
Sergeant Draper has been through a severe traumatic event.
Whoever the fuck you are, stand down and let her speak. Unless there is something you don't want her to say.
Christian!
What made you open fire?
It was Travis. He panicked.
Has Sergeant Draper answered all of your questions, madam?
She already wavered. She already said he wasn't wearing a vac suit. Like, they're not just gonna ignore that. Like,
The average rate of star formation times the fraction of stars formed with planets that could support life. Fraction of those that could develop life, and intelligent life. Fraction of those that could develop technologies that might release detectable signals into space. And of course, the time over which those signals might be detected. It suggests that there are over 36 million advanced civilizations out there doing all kinds of things that we just don't understand.
If that were true, we would have detected signals by now.
Not necessarily. Space is a big, empty place. We might be too far apart, or perhaps they're just broadcasting the signals for too short a time.
yeah.
Maybe it's the nature of intelligent life to destroy itself.
Well, I prefer to think that intelligent life can choose not to.
More magical thinking.
Colonel? Is it magic?
Jesus.
Is he sending it to...
Indicate the presence of biological compounds in the air above the crater. Life in an environment that melts lead. It should be impossible.
Eris changes everything. Just like a soldier on Ganymede without a suit.
Mm-hmm. She heard it. She heard it. She heard it, and she's not ignoring it. My girl.
Reminds me of Baltimore.
Really?
See, this time we are taking all of the cargo.
Holden's gonna help him, right? Holden and Amos.
Are you gonna call the harbor master and get us clearance to leave or no?
All right, we have a deal.
We got company!
Holden be shooting people now.
Jesus. They were gonna kill you. We had to do something. Sorry.
He's the villain in her story. I don't know how he's gonna handle that. So this was another really good episode. It sort of had 3 different storyline threads going through it, and that is the Janice and Christian's guy and the other scientist going to Venus to see what the impact of Eros was and to see if they can find anything there. And then there was the summit, the peace talks, the treaty thing with Mars and Earth, and Gunny giving her testimony. And then there was Holden and Naomi, Amos, and all them trying to get to Ganymede Station to find the geneticist / pediatrician Lawrence Strickland and May, Meng's daughter. I think Meng. I think I said Ming last episode, but I think it's Meng. Let's start out with Naomi and Holden and them. So they took over this ship called the Somnambulist, something like that, right? And there was these 2 people on it, husband and wife, I think, and they're kind of relief workers. They're just trying to get food and medical supplies and stuff like that to Ganymede in order to help all of the people that are still there. And at first, you don't realize that it's Holden and Amos that are the ones doing it, and you're like, what the fuck is Mars doing? Like, why are they being assholes like this? And then it's Amos and Holden, and it kind of makes even less sense, right? And then they kind of explain that they have to use this ship to get to Ganymede because they can't use the Rocinante because it is obviously a Martian ship, so that's not really gonna be accepted onto Ganymede right now, I think. So they have to use this relief ship in order to get it. So they sort of commandeered it. And the lady who is running this relief ship she's very much not a fan, which of course makes sense. And she sort of is like, yeah, I've known you kind of people before, go on your crusade, try to save the world. I'm gonna try to actually help the small number of people that I can help. And obviously we saw at the end those, I don't know what they were called, I don't know what to call them, but those jerk guys came in and were like, yeah, instead of 10 or 20%, we're just going to take all of this, so like, let's leave. And they were probably going to kill them, most likely, once they were, out of orbit and everything. But Holden and Amos came in to try to save them, shot a lot of people, and the guy ended up getting killed in the crossfire. And the lady was very upset, and she was crying, and she told them to leave. And I think that Holden is going to be upset and affected by this for episodes to come. I think I said it during the reaction, but he's the villain in her story now, right? He's the bad guy who came in and got this person she loves killed. And yeah, it's going to be an interesting thing to watch him wrestle with that, if he does wrestle with it, which I think he will, but I didn't write it, so I don't know. But it would be interesting to see him sort of wrestling with that, because he does kind of fancy himself the hero, right? He's trying to save the solar system, everything, right? He's trying to save everybody. So it's going to be interesting to see, not only did he shoot people, but he also got this person killed that was innocent. So we're going to see how that affects him going forward. Something else worth noting from that part of the story is Meng's daughter, May. She has some sort of spinal condition. I was going to try to write it down, but he kept saying more words, and I was like, there's no way that I'm going to know what to write down for that. But she has some kind of spinal condition that the pediatrician / geneticist guy has been treating her for since she was like 4 months old or something. And so maybe he's a good guy. I don't know. But what does she have to do with the protomolecule? Is there some relation with him treating her and the protomolecule? Could the protomolecule be used to treat something like that? Like, what's going on there? I just have a lot of questions and I don't have any answers. So I'm very interested to see that. I'm also interested in, like, if this guy is even gonna still be on Ganymede, because he very well could have already left, right, on a ship. So yeah, we're just gonna have to see if he's even still there. Hopefully he is, otherwise these people literally died for nothing. So, you know, I don't know, we're gonna have to see. To move on to Janice and Christian's guy and the people doing the science on Eros, we had them sort of traveling there and having little science discussions on the way. The thing is, Janice acts like this guy, I don't know his name, but Christian's guy, he acts like that guy believes in magic and not science, and like he keeps telling him that he told him he's gonna find stuff to confirm his theory, and that's not science, which is accurate. If you have a theory that you're trying to confirm, you're always going to be able to find evidence to confirm your version of events, your theory, right? So if he's coming into it biased, that's not good. That's not scientific, right? You have to come into it like, yes, you can have a hypothesis, but you can't exclude evidence that doesn't fit your hypothesis. You know what I mean? But I feel like Janice saying that is also highly biased in his hypothesis and excluding evidence that could be interpreted a different way. So there's a high irony to him saying to that guy, like, oh, well, you're just gonna only validate the evidence that supports your theory and invalidate all the evidence that doesn't. Yet he's kind of doing the same thing, because every time his version is, oh, well, it could be this, but it's his same theory every time. You know what I mean? He doesn't have a lot of variation to his theory. He's saying this was Mars, this was something Mars did, and that's my hypothesis, and I'm only looking for evidence to support that, which isn't how the scientific process should work, you know? So I just found that kind of annoying, you know? As well as when Christian's guy was talking about how there could be 36 million, something like that, intelligent life forms out there that we just haven't been able to communicate with because of distance or technology not being evolved enough or something like that. And he's like, well, yeah, like, that's magic, right? You're just believing in magic, like he did when he was a kid. But I don't know, I find that really an irritating stance to take, because I'm not even a scientist, but I think that the idea that the only intelligent life that exists in this solar system or in this universe, in the galaxy, whatever you call it, like that we're the only intelligent life that exists, is kind of a foolish, arrogant idea, right? And I'm not even a scientist, so I don't know. I guess I find Janice a little bit arrogant, and I'm glad that Christian has her guy that can send information back. And maybe Janice will change his mind as he discovers more evidence, which would be what you should do, but we'll have to see how that plays out. You could tell by their reaction that they did not expect the crater that Eros would create to be that large in Venus, and it should have just burnt up, right? It shouldn't have created this huge crater. It's defying the laws of what they know, right? Of the universe and of these planets, as Christian said at the end. So that's going to be interesting to see where that goes. Also, the ship they were on was called the Arbogast. I don't know if that's important. I don't know if it's a reference to something, but that's the name of it. So just in case, I'm trying to keep these ships in my mind. And last but not least, obviously, we're going to talk about the whole Mars-Earth, not accords, but their summit kind of thing where they discussed what they were going to do going forward. There's obviously a lot of animosity between the two, as you could tell in those scenes where they're just kind of keep coming at each other and like little snide remarks and little snide comments and just being assholes to each other essentially. But Aaron Wright ignoring the moment of silence, like he took literally a moment, and everybody else is like, okay, well, we were gonna take longer than that for the fallen soldiers, but you know, go off, I guess. So I know some of y'all don't like that I hate Aaron Wright so much, but I just, give me a reason to give a shit about you, you know? I don't have one. All you've given me is a reason to hate you, so that's why I hate you. You know, me at Aaron Wright, obviously, not at anybody else. But yeah, we saw that. I was curious as to whether Gunny was going to initially just tell the truth, or if she was going to tell the lie that Mars told her to tell. And looking back on it, she's a Martian. She's a soldier, you know. Soldiers are gonna listen to orders, and so obviously she lied, she listened to orders, she told the story that she was supposed to tell, and it makes sense. But even with that, Christian kind of saw her reaction to them throwing Travis under the bus, and she was like, yeah, I want to talk to her a little bit more. And I got really excited because I was like, oh, she's going to talk to her, like she's going to go to her room and talk to her, and you know, she's going to find out some shit. But she just talked to her in front of everybody else, which wasn't exactly what I wanted, but it still kind of played out like I wanted it, because Christian's method of questioning got Gunny off guard, and she got her to say something she didn't want to say, which was that there was a person without a vac suit and they were shooting and everybody was scared and stuff like that. Like, she went back to her story after that, but she had already said there was a person without a vac suit. Aaron Wright tracked it, Christian tracked it, they heard it, and they didn't unhear it. You know what I mean? Like, they heard it. I'm really curious as to how that's gonna go. Is Gunny gonna get in trouble? Because she did kind of tell the truth a little bit, but she did back it up and then lie. So we'll see. But I'm curious as to what's gonna happen now and where it's gonna go. Like, Aaron Wright, like, what's he gonna do with this information? Christian has that information as well as what happened on Eros, and she's like, shit, everything's changing. Like, the world as we know it is not as we know it anymore. So it's interesting, and we're gonna have to see where that goes, and I, for one, am really, really excited to see where it goes. So yeah, I think that is it for this episode. As always, let me know what you thought in the comments down below, and until next time, bye guys.